Well, ladies and gentlemen, it seems that in the bedrock basin, the bedrock bowl of the Lake George basin, there are an estimated 6,000 septic tanks, septic leach fields that leach and drain their septic to the bedrock that leaks and runs down to Lake George. So you've got 6,000 septic systems, and they claim that 2/3 of them, or 4,000 septic systems, are draining into Lake George. This is according to the so-called experts from RPI University and the Department of Environmental Conservation of the state of New York. They claim that 2/3 of the 6,000 septic systems on the bedrock in the basin of Lake George are leaking or leaching into the lake. Now, bottom line is, all of the 6,000 septic systems leach into the lake. So, the estimate, the rough estimate of 200 million gallons of sewage every year from 4,000 septic tanks, well, you'd have to include all 6,000, so there would be an estimated 300 million gallons of sewage running into Lake George every year. Now, one thing that's obvious is that the Witham perspective on all these thousands of septic systems leaking into the lake has been correct all along. Now, the question to the Lake George Park Commission, the Lake George Association, and the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, Environmental Protection Agency, and the Army Corps of Engineers. Witham's assertion of the flushing of Lake George using the dam at Ticonderoga to flush the dam in the wintertime drawdown. David Wick, Lake George Park Commission, calls it the wintertime lake flushing, the drawdown. Now, my question to the governor of the state of New York and the attorney general for the state of New York is, how long has the state of New York been flushing Lake George over to Lake Champlain? How long have the thousands of septic tanks that are poisoning Lake George been flushed by the dam number 230 at the Poop Chute River? How long has Lake George been being flushed to Lake Champlain? Now, to the Glens Falls Post-Star. The Glens Falls Post-Star needs to answer these questions. How long has the state of New York been flushing Lake George in the wintertime down the Poop Chute River? It's not a difficult question. Now, to sum this video up and to make it plain and simple for everyone to understand, 6,000 septic systems, 6,000 leach fields built on top of bedrock in the Lake George Basin, the big stone bowl of Lake George. All of the 6,000 septic tanks drain into the lake. 6,000 septic systems drain into the lake basin. Hundreds of millions of gallons of sewage every year is drained into Lake George year after year after year after year after year after year after year for decades. 200 to 300 million gallons of sewage straight into Lake George, which is flushed or in the wintertime drawn down by David Wick at the Lake George Park Commission. How long have they been flushing Lake George in the wintertime into Lake Champlain is the question. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll leave it right there. And as always, hasta la vista. God bless, and you betcha, we're coming back.